The future site of the Bethlehem Farm bunkhouse, prayer space, and bathrooms. First of all, we will be building a garden tool shed over here beyond the apple tree behind the garden, which will allow us to take down this building here, the old house, and move the contents of the garden tool shed into the new shed. And then this will be the future site of the bunkhouse, which will have 6 bedrooms, each with 2 bunk beds, so 4 beds, a prayer space large enough for the group to gather in, and a men's bathroom and women's bathroom, which will also accommodate for the future site of the Bethlehem Farm garage, which will have 3 bays for the 3 farm vehicles, so we can house them and work on them in the winter. An overview of the area. There is bedrock, probably about 6 feet down. There is a well house in the center here with the black metal roof just to the left of the trailer. So that is still a well that works, although the pump is not hooked up. There's an electrical line that follows this gravel back to the main house so that the pump can be powered from the main house. There is a septic drain that runs from the main house out to where that broken chair is, and that's where there's a vent, and then it continues back beyond. And there is an electric supply right here, which ends at that point, but used to go to this house, but has since been disconnected. The prayer space will face west, so it has a view of the pasture, the mountains, and the sunset. Here's a look at the site facing west. Here's the old house, the well house, the septic vent, and the hill which faces south. So it's a south-facing slope. The septic line comes from the house over there where the satellite dish is and runs up to this chair, and then it goes right where I'm walking here between the house and the clothesline, and the septic line runs out to that gate, and pretty near past that gate is the septic tank, and then the septic field is off in the pasture beyond. This here again is a south-facing slope, and I'll just walk around so we can get a sense of what kind of slope we're dealing with. Here we are looking up at the house, the old house. There are some chestnut trees back here and an apple tree right here. I imagine they may need to come out, but if they can stay, that's great. Here's another look at the slope that we're dealing with. And it's a fairly constant slope along this entire length. And the slope comes down to the old right-of-way, which we will want to keep open for sure. I'm sure we won't have to come this far down the hill, but nonetheless, here is a view coming up of the extent of this slope. So here we are looking up the hill, and there is the apple tree, and we'll see if we can avoid any ivy as we walk up the hill here, give you a sense of the slope that we're dealing with. And now you can see the hill, and up at the top, the house. Now, here is the yard behind the old house, and That grotto is certainly movable, and the wild cherry tree does not have to stay. None of these trees need to stay. Once again, here's the fence and the gate, and I don't know exactly where the septic tank is, but I imagine that it's right in this area here past the gate. So we probably don't need to go past this fence line here. Here we are looking down the hill. Here is the view to the west and the sunset that we'd like to have from the prayer space. And just take a look at the foundation of the house, because the main farmhouse is sitting on bedrock. So you can see here we are, and the basement is sticking about 3 to 5 feet out from the ground since it is sitting on bedrock. I don't know if we can blast away any of that bedrock or if we want to get into that at all, but that might limit how far into the ground we can go with this structure. And then here's the yard behind. And we wouldn't want to go too close to the gardens if possible, although that could all be moved if needed. But if we could stay so that the garden still got some sun in the spring and fall from the south, that would be great. This is an apple tree, and here's another apple tree, and they don't have to stay, but they can. So the idea for the building is that it will be sunk into the ground with the southern exposure collecting sunlight in the winter, so we may need to take out some of these trees here. That it will have 6 bedrooms, each with 2 bunks, a large prayer space that overlooks this pasture, and then 2 bathrooms. And we will be collecting the rainwater from the roof to use for the showers and toilets in the bathroom, and the sinks preferably, but at least the toilets. They'll be composting toilets. We'll have a good amount of the earth included in the insulated area of the structure, so there's a lot of mass. There will be radiant floor heat in case we do need backup heat besides the passive solar. There may or may not be a wood stove to supplement heat. We would be open to that being included, certainly. And perhaps solar panels to provide the electricity, but we do have the capacity to just keep adding solar panels up to the roof there.